The procurement team at Allerdale are keen to support local suppliers to bid for council contracts. We know it can seem really daunting sometimes, just finding the time and understanding what is required and why in all of our procurement documents. We've pulled together some of the things people have asked us about procurement and tried to answer them in a straightforward way, and we hope you find it useful. Well, procurement is the whole process of purchasing. So getting a sourcing strategy for purchasing of goods, services or works. As I say, it includes sourcing, advertising, supply selection, evaluation and leading to an award of a contract. Well, it is a regulated process. For us as a contracting authority, there are certain rules that we have to abide by as part of the the procurement regulations. And we also have our own council regulations. You know, we're spending public money, so we need to make sure we're doing things the right way. And the principles of all procurement are that it's non-discriminatory, open, there is competition, and it's a fair and transparent process. And as I said, it is also making sure that we're getting value for what we buy for the authority. It's not always about the cheapest thing. It looks at the whole life costs of goods and looks at what added value those procurements can add to the, you know, to the community and to Allerdale.
The answer is we buy a whole range of things, sometimes things you might not even consider. Some of the more obvious and most recent things include agency staff, environmental health, consultancy services. We look for financial services, our utilities, IT, technology, that's software and hardware. We look for office furniture, postal services. Construction's a big one, works and minor works, the accompanying disciplines, including architects, surveyors, specialists to remove asbestos and demolition. It's landscaping services, supporting people, homeless people, those at risk of homelessness. We have vehicles, vehicle hire leasing. Things we've also bought include staging and sound systems for our events, historic filming opportunities and artworks, web design, lots of stuff for COVID, security marshals to PPE, a whole diverse range of things. Council usually uses the chest to advertise its opportunities. The chest is the North West procurement portal, and local authorities and other organisations advertise the tenders there. There's all kinds of things advertised, as I've previously mentioned. Once you've seen an opportunity that you think would be suitable for you, you'll be asked to complete the request for quotation. That's on £50,000 or below. We then evaluate that. The scoring criteria is noted in the procurement documents. This is always used to evaluate the bids or quotes. We'll usually split the scores between price, quality and social value. Each of these areas will be awarded a percentage of the score. It's always shown in the document. The highest percentage weighting will attract the highest score. The team who are responsible for the goods or the services will work with the procurement team on developing the specification. This sets out what their requirements are. The team will work with the procurement team to look at how bids will be evaluated. These are set out as questions to see how well each bid meets our requirements as set out in the specification. So first of all, you need to register on the chest. All you need are your basic company details and contact information. Once you're registered on the chest, you'll be automatically notified by email of any opportunities in your category of interest. You can also search for opportunities at any time. You can decide if you want to submit a bid. The information you provide will depend on the value of the contract. Information falls into two areas: selection and the evaluation. Selection questions look at technical ability to deliver the contract. This is basic information about your company and, if applicable, parent company, subcontractors. The information includes health and safety, insurance, compliance and legislation, your finance, the cash flow and accounts. Inclusions such as modern slavery are there as well. This part you will be asked to self-certify, but if successful, you may need to show some documentation such as insurances, etc. The evaluation process, method statements, look at how you will deliver the project. The evaluation process will vary depending on the nature, the risk and value of the requirements under consideration. Evaluation of the criteria will be stated in the procurement document. In addition to evaluation of your submitted quotation or tender, the process may include assessment of interviews, presentations, demonstrations, or reference site visits.
It's all about taking a proportionate approach. So there are, as I say, there are regulations that are set for all contracting authorities above certain thresholds where they have to be advertised as a tender, and there are set times that they are advertised for. At Allerdale, for amounts under, as I say, we have our own financial regs as well for amounts under those thresholds. Local authorities set their own amounts. So at Allerdale, we've set that for amounts under 50,000, we generally use a request for quotes, which, as I say, it's sort of proportionately less information because it reflects the risks and the value of the things that we're procuring. Well, we aim to make the procurement process as streamlined as possible and to be proportionate in the value and the risks of whatever it is that we're purchasing. But there is information that we need, and we do need to have a way of evaluating differences between bids, so that we have some element of competition and what we're, how we're going to differentiate between the bids. It's always really good to get feedback if suppliers aren't successful in bidding for a council contract, because that can often, it might be that you are, making a mistake, or you're not providing stuff that that would make a difference to your next bid. So we're always more than happy to give feedback, and you can ask for that at the end of any competition.
Council awards contracts on the basis of best value for money. This will normally be determined by evaluation of a combination of cost and quality criteria. Bids will be evaluated using MEET, that's the most economically advantageous tender, price and quality. The evaluation process will be objective and clearly set out in the tender documents. The most important things in the evaluation criteria will be weighted greater than the less important criteria. The way we evaluate and score will all be set out in the tender documents. It's important you read this and answer these points, as this provides a way for us to differentiate between the bids and choose the bid that best meets our requirements. The Council is keen to use its buying power to deliver social welfare, often referred to as social value, in all the Council contracts. That is, using our buying power to ensure Council contracts deliver wide benefits in skills creation, environmental benefits, and improving well-being in Allerdale. Council has a clear objective to deliver local economic benefits and is keen for local businesses to compete for our contracts. Whilst we encourage bids from local suppliers, we must be fair and open, transparent in terms of our processes and our contract awards.
We're always really keen to give feedback, generally around the procurement process and specifically about particular tenders or competitions that have gone out. And you can do that by emailing us at procurement@allerdale.gov.uk. And you can also provide, on your applications on the chest, you can send us messages through the chest. And we do really listen to the responses that we get. So we've had a number of responses recently about the timing of our procurements, and we've been working with council officers to get them to consider when they're putting their tenders out that it doesn't clash with holidays, Christmas, bank holidays, where possible. Sometimes it's just unavoidable, unfortunately. And also, one of the things that we're keen to create is a pipeline which shows when we're going to be procuring goods and services, so that that can give a bit of notice to suppliers to let them know, what potentially is coming up, what council business may be coming up for a contract. Well, I can't stress enough the importance of making sure you've understood in the documentation what is required. And we're always happy to answer clarifications and any questions, and we'll publish those so that everybody who's applying can see, kind of if there's something unclear in that tender documentation. There is a checklist on the invitation to tender and the request for quote. So I'd use that because they're making sure that you're filling it in. And keep that evaluation criteria at the forefront of what you're looking at. Think about what it is we're trying to achieve with this project and this procurement. And lastly, don't forget about social value. A lot of, especially smaller providers and suppliers, they do things in their community to support the local area. I mean, we've seen that definitely with COVID, where local companies are either volunteering in charitable aims in their local town or village, or that they're doing something where they're providing a service free of charge to a particular group. But often when they're filling in our tender applications, some of that is forgotten, and they don't think about how they could, that added value that they can bring to any contract that they provide for Allerdale. And as I say, it's usually in thinking of almost all our tenders and quotations, we ask for social value and we score it. So don't forget about the things that you do. It may seem like a little thing, but if it's an added value of delivering that contract, then we want to know about it and we will include it in the evaluation.
We hope this has answered some of your questions and concerns, and we look forward to getting more bids from local suppliers for future council contracts. We've uploaded an online toolkit into our business website, so you can find it at business.allerdale.co.uk. If there was something else you wanted to know that we haven't answered, please get in touch by emailing procurement@allerdale.gov.uk. Thank you.